On our broadcast tonight, hitting home, a big change in American life brought on by tough economic times. Hotspot, did the issue of race interfere with some firefighters hoping for promotions? Sweet and sour, what's the real risk of our country's love affair with sugar in so much of what we consume? And Cabbage Patch Kid, one girl's growing dream of making a difference. Also tonight, we may have news on those credit card rates. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. There are new numbers out tonight that prove this current economic downturn, led by the housing crisis, is simply rewriting the American dream. Fewer people are moving here, for one, and those who are already here aren't moving. In a nation of strivers by nature, always striving to move up, the Census Bureau tells us very few Americans are able to move anywhere right now. As one analyst put it today, the U.S. population seems to have stopped dead in its tracks. It's where we begin tonight with correspondent Lee Cowan standing by in Los Angeles. Lee, good evening.
Well, good evening, Brian. There were some foreclosure numbers that came out tonight that were particularly bad news for folks that live out here in the West. Places that had seen a population boom not too long ago are now seeing the economy put the brakes on any future residents moving in. Go west, young man, may still be good advice for those looking for bargains in the housing market, but many agree that demand won't be enough to offset the number of foreclosures already in the pipeline this year. Over the last 3 months, California, Nevada, Arizona, and Florida topped the list of the states with the highest foreclosure rates in the nation. Las Vegas was the hardest hit city, with 1 in every 22 homes receiving a foreclosure filing. Phoenix, Orlando, and Los Angeles round out the top 20. For people struggling to hold on to what they already have, the thought of starting over somewhere else now seems a dim dream. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, fewer Americans moved last year than in any other year since 1962, down by millions.
Well, I think it's a perfect storm. All kinds of things are happening together. They can't sell their home, they can't get financing to buy a new home, and they can't find a job in another place.
The largest drop was in moves from one state to another.
We even see a slowdown in immigration to the United States. The fact that all of this is happening at the same time is unprecedented in the United States. I think this is a very unique time.
Unique and difficult. Just ask the folks at North Star Moving, where a lot of empty trucks sit parked.
It all happened so fast.
He says he watched as his moving business went from growing by 30 to 40% every year to a decline of 15% this year.
People are not moving, people are losing their homes, and it's very, very scary.
For a society that is historically one of the most mobile in the world, the downturn in the economy has become the anchor weighing them down. Now, Brian, there is actually one aspect of the moving industry, though, that may show a spike, and that's in local moves. Experts say the economy may force people to essentially downsize, move out of their big homes into smaller homes, perhaps even moving in with their families in order to help pay the bills.
Lee Cowan starting us off from L.A. tonight. Lee, thanks. And there's more economic news tonight. It has to do with credit card rates. They've become, as you know, the ultimate indignity. Banks that depend on taxpayer bailout money to stay alive, upping the interest rates for their credit card customers. This has not gone unnoticed, apparently, at the White House. They are taking on this topic tomorrow. We could have some news on that front tonight. Our chief White House correspondent, Chuck Todd, is at the White House with a preview tonight. Chuck, I guess this is an indication they've gotten the message. This is a big issue across the country.
This absolutely is. You remember last week, and we had all those tea parties, and there were a lot of angry people about the tax dollars, but some of that anger had to do with what you just brought up. You have banks like Citi, like Bank of America, like American Express, 3 of the largest credit card issuers that you can think of. They're getting billions, with a B, of money from the federal government. They also get to borrow money at almost a 0% interest rate. Yet what's happened in the last few months, people have noticed their credit card interest rates have gone up, and have gone up in some cases dramatically. So the president is going to have a meeting tomorrow with 14 of the top CEOs of credit card issuers, and he's going to flat out tell them things have got to change. You've got to make these interest rates increases. You got to do more disclosure in a way, make those increases a lot easier to understand, and make it in such a way that it doesn't look like you're basically taking advantage of the federal government with tax dollars and passing on that savings only to their bottom line.
Chuck Todd at the White House tonight, where we should have some news on this front tomorrow night. Chuck, thanks. President Obama, for his part, traveled to Iowa today to mark Earth Day. He visited the town of Newton, hard hit by job losses when a Maytag plant closed 2 years ago. Now the site's been converted to a plant that builds towers for those giant wind turbines. There, the president promoted his alternative energy plan and the creation of environmentally friendly jobs. Meantime, more troubles for GM and its workers. CNBC's Phil LeBeau confirms GM is planning to close most of its U.S. factories for up to 9 weeks this summer. Unplanned vacation for those workers. It's because of slow sales and rising inventories of unsold cars and trucks. GM also reportedly plans to miss a $1 billion payment to the bondholders that's due June 1st. GM is living, as you may know, on more than $13 billion in government loans these days. They face a deadline June 1st to restructure or seek bankruptcy protection. On Wall Street today, stocks were mostly lower, with the Dow losing almost 83 points. The U.S. Supreme Court today waded into the issue of race, specifically a major civil rights case that involves charges of reverse discrimination involving the promotion of white firefighters in New Haven, Connecticut. The outcome here could change hiring practices across the country. The story from our Justice correspondent, Pete Williams.
We're going to lever the bar towards the door.
Frank Ritchie, an 11-year veteran of the New Haven, Connecticut Fire Department, was eager to qualify for promotion.
As you can see, you'll rip off the doorknob right in your Halligan.
Because he has dyslexia, he paid to have books read on tape so he could prepare for the written test.
If you work hard and you study and you apply yourself at your job, you can succeed in America.
He scored high enough to qualify for promotion, but none of the black firemen did. So the city threw the test out, saying the results showed it was unfair to minority candidates. Frank Ritchie and 16 other white firefighters say that's reverse discrimination.
The only thing wrong with this test was it didn't suit the political agenda of New Haven's mayor. That was the only thing wrong with these tests.
The justices today struggled with how far a city can go to achieve racial diversity before it ends up illegally discriminating on the basis of race. Justice Anthony Kennedy, likely the critical vote, seemed to find that New Haven crossed that line. He said it classified the successful and unsuccessful applicants by race. Then you want us to say this isn't race? I have trouble with that. Civil rights groups say New Haven was right to throw the test out because it had questions unrelated to the job. They say cities must take race into account in promotions with this goal.
To have fire departments and police departments that look like the citizens that they serve. And that is the essence of diversity.
But judging by today's argument, a majority of the court did not seem prepared to make that any easier. Pete Williams, NBC News at the Supreme Court.
The troubles in Pakistan are in the news on two fronts. There's word tonight the Taliban has seized control of more territory, this time in a strategically important region. They're now just 70 miles from the capital, Islamabad. And in Washington, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called Pakistan's continuing instability a, quote, mortal threat to world peace, and sent a tough message to that nation's leaders, who will be meeting with President Obama in 2 weeks now. She accused Pakistan, a key ally, of, quote, abdicating to the Taliban by surrendering so much territory to the extremists. The subject of debate in Washington this week has been torture, what constitutes torture, and what was allowed during the Bush years that's now been called out and outlawed during the Obama administration. Now there's the question of what to do about the officials who allowed those interrogation tactics in the first place. We get the latest tonight from our chief foreign affairs correspondent, Andrea Mitchell.
According to the Senate report, the harsh techniques used at Guantanamo and other prisons were ordered by top Bush cabinet-level officials and launched months before they were approved by lawyers. Today's Armed Services Committee report also says abuses at the notorious Abu Ghraib prison, including stress positions, removal of clothing, use of phobias such as fear of dogs, were systematic. not just the work of a few rogue soldiers, as the Pentagon claimed at the time.
A few bad actors can create such large problems for everybody.
But when military and State Department lawyers tried to stop the practices, they were silenced.
There were very strong warnings against the use of these techniques. And those warnings were, in one case, they attempted to destroy the warning.
One warning the White House destroyed, a legal document from State Department counselor Philip Zelikow against the interrogations.
They certainly thought my views were out of line, and that particular memo, folks did want to try to have collected and destroyed.
Members of Congress were briefed at the time and reportedly didn't dissent, including Intelligence Committee leaders Nancy Pelosi, Porter Goss, Bob Graham, and Richard Shelby. Hillary Clinton was asked today about Dick Cheney's argument that the interrogations worked.
Well, it won't surprise you that I don't consider him a particularly reliable source of information.
Also today, Republicans John McCain and Lindsey Graham, both harsh critics of the interrogations, said no one should be prosecuted.
I think the president made a huge mistake when he put on the table going back and trying to criminalize legal advice given to policymakers regarding interrogation techniques.
And the Obama administration's own director of national intelligence, Dennis Blair, wrote his employees last week that the interrogations produced high-value information. And he said he did not fault those who made the decisions at the time. But Blair left those controversial comments out of public statements he issued at the same time. Tonight, a senior official told NBC News Blair does not back away from his private comments, even though they appear to differ from the president's rejection of the Bush policies. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Washington.
Tragic story in Vienna, Virginia, just outside Washington, D.C. The acting CFO, chief financial officer of the troubled mortgage giant Freddie Mac, 41-year-old David Kellerman, was found dead in his home this morning. Police say an apparent suicide. Kellerman worked for Freddie Mac for the past 16 years. He was named chief financial officer just last September. That's when the government seized control of the company to keep it from failing. He lived with his wife and their young daughter. When our broadcast continues here this Wednesday night, the American sugar rush, what it's doing to our health, and does the kind of sweetener we use make a difference? And speaking of making a difference, meet a little girl with a big idea to help a whole lot of people.
Everything that goes into each of the 13 different varieties of Mrs. Dash, all those natural herbs and spices, is just as important as what doesn't. No salt, no MSG. Everything that goes into Mrs. Dash is there to make sure that what you get out is nothing short of delicious. Mrs. Dash, salt-free, flavorful. And try the 10-minute marinades from Mrs. Dash.
When I was told I had diabetes, I felt amazingly boxed in.
Joe uses the Contour meter from Bayer.
My meter absolutely adapts to me and my lifestyle. I'm Joe James. Being outside of the box is my simple win.
Now available in 5 vibrant colors.
In the Mediterranean, fresh ingredients and seafood are on tables every day. At Red Lobster, we're bringing new entrees inspired by the Mediterranean to your table. Try new wood-grilled lobster and tender jumbo shrimp with a garlic cream sauce. Or new Tuscan herb shrimp and chicken, wood-grilled and brushed with a blend of basil, olive oil, and white wine. Taste the flavors of the Mediterranean for a limited time at Red Lobster.
Bush's baked beans.
Jay, it's Grandpa Bush. Let Duke sell Bush's secret family recipe.
Nice try, Duke.
How'd you know it was me?
Grandpa didn't have a tail.
Oops.
Enjoy Bush's baked beans made with our secret family recipe.
They tickle, they tease, and you sneeze. Maybe it's time to ask your doctor about Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair blocks leukotrienes, an underlying cause of nasal allergy symptoms. And that's how Singulair works differently. 1 pill, once a day. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat allergies.
17-year-olds in this country will soon be able to get the so-called morning after birth control pill without a doctor's prescription. The Food and Drug Administration announced it will comply with a federal judge's order on this. He ruled last month the Bush administration let politics and not science drive its decision to allow over-the-counter access for women 18 and older. As ingredients in the American diet go, this one's been called dietary enemy number one, high fructose corn syrup. It's found in everything from cereal to soda, but is it really worse than other sweeteners? Our report tonight from our chief science correspondent, Robert Bazell.
It is the latest battle in the food wars. Some companies are advertising products as natural because they are sweetened with table sugar, also known as sucrose, instead of the other common sweetener called high fructose corn syrup. The Corn Refiners Association is fighting back with ads defending its product as natural and just as healthy as sugar.
That has high fructose corn syrup in it. And? You know what they say about it? Like what? I mean, it's that it's made from corn, doesn't have artificial ingredients, and like sugar, it's fine in moderation.
Are the corn refiners accurate? Top nutrition scientists say there is indeed little difference between the two products.
High fructose corn syrup is one of the most misunderstood products in the food supply.
The difference, experts say,
All right, thanks.
between the syrup and table sugar is that the syrup costs less.
Food suppliers have the incentive to put it into virtually all processed products, from sugar-sweetened beverages to the coating of chicken fingers.
Americans now consume on average 140 pounds of added sugar a year per person, or the equivalent amount of high fructose corn syrup, in sodas, sports drinks, energy drinks, and hundreds of other products.
Not long ago, the standard size of a soda you'd order would be about 8 ounces. Now, 20 ounces is more common. And just one of these has the equivalent of 17 teaspoonfuls of sugar. Some kids drink 2 or 3 of these every day.
The experts say there is no question such amounts of either sweetener contribute to obesity and the risk for diabetes. Robert Bazell, NBC News, New York.
And we're back in a moment. We continue our special Green Week series of reports here on Nightly News. Tonight, trying to solve a problem as big as the ocean itself, and it's all about clearing the air.
Imagine the expertise. A panel of dermatologists helping to make skin look younger. That's what you get with new Olay Professional Pro X. A specialized team of dermatologists and Olay have designed Pro X to re-signal your skin so it looks more like it did when it was younger. For clinically proven results in 28 days guaranteed. Potent, proven, professional. New Olay Professional Pro X.
I'm Mark Goldston, Chairman and CEO of Net Zero. Here's a plan for America's broadband users to save $16 billion a year and $300 individually. Switch to Net Zero dial-up at $9.95 per month. Call 1-800-NET-ZERO or go to netzero.com.
She's losing her battle against nasal allergies, but we found a way to fight it.
Omneris to the nose!
Omneris works differently than many other allergy medications. Omneris fights nasal allergy symptoms that occur from allergic inflammation. Relieve those symptoms with Omneris. Side effects may include headache, nosebleed, and sore throat. Mission accomplished. Oh, incoming! Ask your doctor about Omneris. In the battle against nasal allergy symptoms, Omneris combats the cause.
Never before have people with diabetes had a choice like this. Crunchy Glucerna cereals to start your day deliciously. Instead of spiking your blood sugar like an ordinary cereal, Glucerna cereals spike your taste buds. And with unique carbohydrate blends, both Glucerna cereals and shakes can help you manage blood sugar spikes, which can help lower A1C, so you can get out there and enjoy life. Glucerna, smart nutrition for people with diabetes. Find it near the pharmacy section of your local store.
Can't stop weeding? Then apply Preen for gardens. In just one application, Preen prevents weeds for 3 months. Stop weeds with Preen. Preen works, so you don't have to.
Has progress taken us to a better place? I'd say it's taken us for a ride. Honestly, what thanks do we owe progress? We're up to our necks in landfill and down to the wire in resources, and climate change is out to get us. That's why progress plays no role inside post-shredded wheat. Here, we put the no in innovation. Post-original shredded wheat is still just the one simple, honest ingredient which naturally comes with vitamins, minerals, and fiber. All we did was make it spoon-sized. Did we go too far?
On Earth Day, NASA celebrated by releasing some spectacular high-definition photos of the Earth from 220 miles up. The International Space Station shot these photos. On this Earth Day evening, we have a special look tonight at the whole Earth from space. One feature stands out above all, and that's water. Oceans cover 2/3 of the planet's surface, as we're all taught in school. They play a vital role in protecting against climate change, absorbing air pollution like a giant sponge. But the oceans are being overwhelmed, we are told, and that's causing a sea change for the worse. It's part of our special series of reports during our company-wide NBC Universal Green Week. Correspondent Ian Williams has more from Tasmania off the coast of Australia.
It's not something you can easily see, but changes in the water are threatening the life of our oceans. They're becoming more acidic, their chemistry changing at a speed not seen for millions of years.
The impact has already begun. This is not a matter for the future anymore. This is something that has already started to happen.
It was the raw beauty of Tasmania that drew Will Howard to this remote corner of Australia.
Let's see if we can get a cut on this.
Where he and fellow New Yorker Ron Thresher are on the front line of disturbing new research.
It's an early warning indication that, yeah, it really is a serious problem.
The oceans absorb around half the carbon dioxide pumped into the atmosphere, and the cold waters of the Southern Ocean are the perfect laboratory, since the chemistry's changing here most quickly.
And here's where we're keeping the samples that we've been collecting.
Howard has found telltale evidence from tiny sea snails the size of a grain of sand.
These organisms are the base of the marine food webs, and what happens to them ultimately reverberates throughout the ecosystem, right up to whales, penguins, and a lot of the kind of organisms that we're used to seeing.
The snail's shell weight has fallen by up to half, their ability to make shells crippled by the growing acidity of the water.
There's a whole range of organisms which depend on this shell-making ability.
And critically, since the shells are carbon absorbers, the world loses a vital buffer against climate change.
The scientists have been surprised and alarmed by their findings. The oceans here host an extraordinarily rich ecosystem. It may be more vulnerable than anybody imagined.
And you can see the effects of the acidification already. You can see how fragile they are. They're just sort of
flaking away.
They're flaking away, that's right.
From coral samples, Thresher's trying to predict the impact on that wider system. Reefs are vital habitats for thousands of fish. An unmanned submarine obtained the first coral samples from highly acidic water near the Antarctic shelf, deep beneath the Southern Ocean.
It'll allow us to forecast the ultimate fate of these things.
It's high-stakes research, the ocean equivalent of the canary in the mine, an alarming warning of an ecosystem under threat. Ian Williams, NBC News, Tasmania.
We are back in a moment with one very bright 10-year-old's idea of making a difference.
Fishing pole? It's been a while. You stood in the basement gathering dust while I, sneezing, itching eyes, kept you from our favorite stream. The one that runs through a field where pollen floats through the air. But now, with the strength of 24-hour Zyrtec to relieve my worst allergy symptoms, indoors and outdoors. Let's go before the fish stop biting. They won't wait for us. But that's okay. Zyrtec starts working 2 hours faster than Claritin. Today we battle wits with the trout. With Zyrtec, I can love the air.
I worried what would happen if I didn't start taking care of my heart, but I wasn't ready to give up taste. Sometimes sacrifice is the name of the game.
Honey Nut Cheerio cereal tastes great and can help lower cholesterol.
I guess I can do this.
Be happy, be healthy.
Announcing the Ford Advantage Plan, a better plan to get you into a new, quality-built Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury. Today, while others say there's no credit available, Ford Credit says there is. Financing as low as 0% APR. Check for pre-approval now at Ford.com. And with the Ford Advantage, if you lose your paycheck, we'll make your payments for up to 12 months. Quality, credit, and payment protection. That's the Ford Advantage Plan. Visit your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Capturing the beauty of nature. That's my vision. Every day, Transitions lenses are there to help care for my sight.
Transitions lenses adjust to changing light to reduce glare and help protect your eyes from UV damage so you can see better today and tomorrow. Live your vision. Transitions, healthy sight in every light. When you buy a pair of Transitions lenses and register your certificate of authenticity, you could win $100. And we'll make a donation through the Transitions Healthy Sight for Life Fund.
I never thought I would have a heart attack, but I did. You need to talk to your doctor about aspirin. You need to be your own advocate.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
You take care of your kids. Now it's time to take care of yourself.
Where's my car? I thought it was here. Someone stole my car! Where are you? Where's my car?
Where is it?
Ah!
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles have 2 kinds of gel. Blue for softness and purple for support to give you outrageous comfort.
Not too far. Need a lift? No, thanks. I think I'll walk.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles. Are you gelling?
This is a KGW News Channel 8 update.
Next, a North Portland family targeted by gangs. We'll talk with the father about waking up to a firebomb. Plus, trading votes over the Selwood Bridge, the back and forth between top leaders.
I'm Matt Safino. Temperatures running as much as 28 degrees cooler now. We'll let you know when we'll warm up at 6.
Finally tonight, our Making a Difference report as we continue to recognize people who are trying to help all those who've been hurt by this economy. We ask that you continue to post your suggestions, the stories you come across on our website. That's nightly.msnbc.com. Tonight, NBC's Natalie Morales introduces us to a girl in Summerville, South Carolina, who had a good idea that has grown into a whole lot more.
And to the republic for which it stands.
Meet 10-year-old Katie Stagliano. Like so many other kids her age, popular, a good student, and a dreamer.
My dream was no hungry children.
You got the pepper row, the tomato row.
Her school's environmental sciences teacher says Katie first came to him with her big idea.
And as soon as I started hearing these ideas come out of her mouth, I knew that I wanted to be a part of it and do everything that I could to help make her ideas and dreams come to fruition.
With the help of her 4th grade classmates, a plot of land donated by her school, and a generous donation from Bonnie Plants, Katie's dream is coming true.
Definitely know we've talked about maybe fertilizing your plants. Oh, yeah.
Also helping her garden grow, Master Gardener Lisa Tarosi, who volunteers her time.
This is where Katie's dream started, right here in her own backyard, when a small cabbage seedling sprouted into something much bigger than even she had expected.
40 pounds bigger.
It was life-changing, watching that thing grow and realizing that it was meant for something bigger than just our family.
The local soup kitchen cooked it up, and Katie's cabbage fed nearly 300 people.
Anybody could plant a seed. You could plant it in a pot, you can plant it in a little plot of land out back. You could take it to your local soup kitchen. You can go anywhere with it.
Today, Katie continues to deliver vegetables grown from her garden.
That is the prettiest lettuce I have ever seen in my life.
And to help feed the hungry.
It's amazing that she cares that much about other people to want to give them food as well.
If a 10-year-old can think of something like this, imagine what other people much older than me could think of.
And this is a dream that just keeps on growing, right?
Yes, it is.
And Katie's newly planted garden, with plenty of TLC over the next few months, it too will blossom, just like her dream.
Good.
Natalie Morales, NBC News, Summerville, South Carolina.
And that's our broadcast for this Wednesday night. Thank you for having us. I'm Brian Williams. We hope to see you back here tomorrow evening. Good night.
Frantic calls in a Milwaukee neighborhood. A mother is forced to call pharmacies for an angry neighbor desperate for drugs.
Trying to cope with this individual with a gun to her head, making these demands, making these phone calls.
That gunman shot to death by police. What we've learned about his past. Family firebomb. A shattered window and charred blinds. This house targeted for arson. And the motive? Gang intimidation.
I was screaming, get out, okay? Your house got fired. Get out, just get out.
How this isn't the first time this home was targeted. And a bridge for a hotel, trading support for projects. A vote for the Selwood Bridge plan in return for a vote on the Convention Center Hotel.
Negotiating is tough.
tough business.
A look at how politics is played.